knows about the grind. Bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. What's up, Nasties? Happy Wednesday. How you doing? It's 1:04. EST Afternoons live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubish with you. The Oilers are back, baby. Nuge is back. Pickard is great. Podkolzin gets off the schneid. You don't need Holloway and McLeod and Stuart Skinner. It's too far, right, Gager?
Yes.
He's not even listening to me right now.
I can't. Well, I'm just processing what you just said, but I was like, okay, McLeod. Well, speed. I liked it, but
we don't need any of those jabronis. Did you see the game yesterday?
I did. I did actually.
Yeah, we don't need.
I had eyeballs live watching that stuff.
Oilers don't need anyone. They're rolling. 7-1 win against the Utah Hockey Club. That team needs a damn name. I'm sick of saying Utah Hockey Club.
I found it difficult to say it too.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Utah Jazz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
it's always in my mind.
I was trying to think, what's this team's name again? Like, how do you refer to them in a proper manner? I just called them the club. Right?
And once again, I hate to brag, but I was right. I said this was going to be a blowout. I said it, man. I felt it in my bones.
But you said it for the last 3 games, so it doesn't have much validity.
Sometimes when I'm having a dart, I can read certain signals in the smoke, and I saw an Oilers big win coming.
As a young boy in Chile running through the jungle, did you go on those?
The jungle?
Oh, yeah. Did you have visions in the jungle?
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
Like, you know what? There's going to be the Jungle Book, too. And it's Hernan swinging from the trees.
From the jungle to hosting a show on EST.
It's an amazing story.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Fun show coming up here on EST Afternoons. Highlights, lowlights. We'll show 2 of the best goals of the night. Hernan's rolled. We're going to have some fun. Start thinking movies once again. That's always presented by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. 220. Our good buddy, Tim Hauraney, F1 IndyCar Insider with TSN, also has a podcast, Nailing the Apex, one of the best F1 podcasts out there right now. He'll join us at 2:20. We'll get a good idea of week 1 in F1. A lot of people are freaking out, but a lot of people just need to pump the brakes. I got to do my lineup. Man, I've been leaving that to...
Oh, you got time, man.
No, I know, but I like to do some math and see who I can take out if I'm going to use one of my chips. Yeah.
Yo, really? A chip?
But don't you get them reset halfway through?
I don't think so.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it's iffy to do it now. Actually, probably the no negative would have been a good chip to use.
Yeah.
For the first race. Because you never, It would have been perfect to use the no negative chip in that race, because when are you going to use that? Probably at the end anyway, just so you don't lose your position. But that would have given you I don't know. Maybe it would have given you a leg up, but not. I guess for Tommy, yeah, because he's -2.
Well, you forgot a whole team.
Well, I know, but still, you'd think he would have a. I know, but you're completely your total right now. You're actually in the negative. Well, I don't know. Maybe it would have given you a leg up, but not. I guess for Tommy, yeah, because he's -2. Jeez, I'm delayed.
Yeah, something. You just got really loud in my ears, bro.
Yeah, but you hit something. Your total. What's that?
Oh, I know what it is.
Because you're playing the thing.
No,
we're good.
We're good.
Okay, yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know. You're messing around over there.
It's funny because Jen says, Hernan, did you have a celebratory dart? I don't smoke. I have a drag once in a while. And what? You're going to say something?
No, I'll save it for later.
Okay. What was I? Man, I'm just a hot mess today. 107 watching, 13 thumbs up. Those are rookie numbers. EST Afternoons is way beyond that. Let's go. Let's pump those up. And you need to. We need to get votes.
Oh
for
yeah,
Liliana.
my daughter. Yeah, please, everybody. She dropped to third. You can vote every day, but today is important because it's double the votes. And I know sometimes on your phone when you select it, it says there's something went wrong. Just go back in there. I don't know what it, and then you can go in there and vote right away. But yeah, third place. Don't let these Disney princesses win. This is
yeah. So go to Gage's Twitter profile and you can click on the link and double vote. I think it is today. Haji on the inbox says Hernan, HR Daddy is just a phone call away. I know things are getting too loose around this place here. I might have to make a call. Like always, hit us up on the nasty chat. Slam that thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, you can also subscribe. If you like to follow us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, please give us a follow. Not just EST Afternoons, but every show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. That would be greatly appreciated. And of course, the River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. I'll say this about the game yesterday, Gager. Nuge looks good. I mean, that's 6 points in his last 2 games. He looked really good. I like that line with Arvidsson and Podkolzin. Podkolzin scores for the first time since January 15th. Kapanen and Janmark should have had 2 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good they played. Pickard solid once again, 29 saves. Ekholm looked refreshed. He looked really good out there. Nurse was a beast. Jake Wallman with his back-to-back games of 6 block shots. He's really coming into his own. And, of course, 97, Hyman and the Nuge recording 3 points each to lead them to a 7-1 win. We haven't seen a thrashing like this since, what, January?
They were all listening to the Flow Rider song yesterday.
Rider, yeah.
The club couldn't even handle them.
The only downside of the game, because I wasn't taking any negativity on the post-game show yesterday, was that Draisaitl's point streak comes to an end when they score 7 goals.
Trade him.
That's the funniest thing ever. They score 7 goals, and he doesn't get a point.
They were feeding him like crazy.
Oh, he's the only one over 20 minutes for the forwards because they kept putting him out there.
I mean, if it's any... I don't know how I felt about that. You guys talked about throwing the number 1 power play out there, right? There's an interesting stat. Their record against Western Conference teams at home that I saw last night, that their power play efficiency, you know what it is? This is at home against Western Conference.
No, I don't.
40%.
Wow.
That's impressive, right? That's a good number going into the playoffs. But yeah, I understand it. Look, if you're gonna, in some respect, there's putting your number 1 power play out in a blowout. It's sometimes it's looked at as disrespectful, but I think because of the timing of the game, who knows what happens, right? It was still in them. They were up by a few, and the first unit was coming out. I didn't have a problem with it. I would if it was like within the last 5 minutes, you're up by a bunch, or maybe the last 2 minutes, and they get a penalty. Then it's like, I
was just gonna ask you that. Like, it is what it. Like, they started with Draisaitl, but it was like Perry, Kulak.
Yeah. He went out on the second unit there,
and then they went out the last 40 seconds, McDavid, and then jumped on there. And I mean, if he wants payback, he'll remember that. And
hey,
maybe
come to play then. You know, you could say that too.
Yeah,
right?
because if it's not on the power play and Leon's still out there, he can still score the 8th goal.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It makes no difference. So a lot of people are asking, if they don't have Twitter or Facebook, how can they vote, Gage, for your daughter?
You can go on my Instagram, I guess, too. Well, I don't even know what my it's just Joaquin Gage on my story today. Yeah, it's at Joaquin Gage, all one word, and you can just hit the story. And I believe there is there's a link up there so you can see it. Danceicon.org, Liliana. Nice little picture of her. And I'm posting just old pictures of her when she danced as a little girl too. So
cool. There you have it, folks. Thank you for the support.
Thank you very much.
And let's get Liliana up to first place. Lulu says, how many of the 4 who settled practice today will play tomorrow? All of them, Zulu. Why wouldn't they? It's a maintenance day.
I didn't know they referred to, when Podkolzin scored, they called the on the Jumbotron. It was Podzilla.
Yeah.
So is he Podzilla?
I guess. I mean,
I don't get it, but
well, Podkolzin, you need to score more than 7 goals. So yeah, Podzilla's fine.
Podzilla's fine.
Pods. Yeah. So Ekholm, Draisaitl, McDavid, and who's the other one? And Hyman set out. It's maintenance. Like I have no issues.
Oh, why practice today?
Yeah, exactly. They play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Very good Jets teams coming off a 6-2 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. So I wouldn't look too much into that, guys. It's just it is what it is. Why
it's
would
the
you?
Time at this time of year?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't expect any of those guys to practice that much. This is when coaches. I think it's a difficult time for them just to get. Because they want to practice and kind of fine tune some things, possibly, right? Get something done that they're thinking about. But I don't know. I think at this point, you're better suited to leave things alone. Maybe go over things on video, and because look, they're going to be playing a lot of hockey, hopefully for a long period of time here. So get the rest. And just, you want to hit that ice going and have some hunger, like, ooh, I can't wait to get out there. A little bit of like racehorse in the stable.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to that game. It's going to be great. And one of the more positive things, he stuck with the lines yesterday.
Well, he was able to.
Yeah. And it makes it easier when you're up 3-0 after the first.
But,
5-0 after the whatever it was. Like it's a lot easier to stick with your lines. And McDavid played 16 minutes. Like that's
low.
And that's low, but it's at this time of year in a game like that, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want the other guys. Arvidsson's on a little streak here. He scored 3 goals in the last in the last 10 days or so, and he's heating up. I thought Jeff Skinner was good. Really, like I said it on the post game, like there wasn't one player where I looked and I said, man, that guy played bad.
No, I said it last night on the post game show. I thought Stetcher was good. Nurse was someone pooped in his cornflakes or something yesterday because
he was upset.
He was mad. Like the battles in the corner were crazy, and I don't think they didn't really come across on TV as well. But he was vicious in the corner. Like it was, I thought he should have got a penalty a lot of times, and I know he got the penalty on the one, but he was doing that consistently. And even, and I think it was on the broadcast, did it show him going down the tunnel?
Yeah, and throwing the helmet.
Yeah, like he was really upset. But that's what you want. That's to have a guy like this that you could see guys shying away by the end of the game, going into the corner first with him.
Yeah. Aiden says, Nobby said a couple of them may be a game time decision tomorrow. Yeah, that's what they say. They're all playing. There's no reason McDavid, Ekholm, and Hyman shouldn't play. I know Leon took a bump, but he played 22 minutes, so he was fine.
Well, it was a weird kind of stretch. I think it kind of, if you stretch out your hamstring too much and you feel it more behind the knee, like his leg got caught up and then got extended, right? So he couldn't really stop it. But then again, the next shift, he looked absolutely fine. But yeah, he was trying to get that 50 out of the way, which.
Yeah, I am assuming they're all going to play tomorrow, especially against Winnipeg.
Oh, of course they're.
If they were playing the Sharks, maybe they'd be like, "Yeah, coach, can I take this one game off to rest my injury or whatever it is?" But don't worry about it, guys. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
What else did I want to get to here? Let me see. Yeah, I don't expect any lines. I don't expect Mac Jones, Derek Ryan to jump in tomorrow. I don't see why. Maybe Emberson for Stetcher, but like you said, and this is what I brought up with Tom last night. That not just for the forward group, but now the guys on defense. There's competition, and everybody wants to be in the lineup, and everybody wants to be a starter in game one.
Yeah, you could say that. Klingberg,
Emberson, Stetcher, they all want to start game one.
Yeah. So
when Frederick comes back, Joaquin, like look at the battle there for spots.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 guys sitting out right now. Like Connor Brown, Janmark, who else? Podkolzin, Kapanen. They should all be saying, I got to play my best.
Well, I think you've already seen the effect of having a few extra bodies around the room do to people. You might not get that number circled, or your jersey's not in your stall when you show up for at game time, right? So, you could see a little bit more urgency and not only that, but sometimes when a guy comes into the lineup and he's almost trying to do too much. Like everyone played within themselves. Maybe and we talked about that with Knobloch a few weeks ago where he said people are trying to do things that's not in their role.
Not in their DNA. It's not what got them there.
Yeah. So, and he said it a lot with going to play with Connor and Leon. All of a sudden, these guys are skilled guys with the puck and stuff. And maybe, just maybe, those types of conversations have been had because you got to say that, well, with Arvidsson, looking at him, he looks more like the buzzsaw that we've seen before. Kapanen, sometimes I don't get frustrated, but I wonder why he doesn't make life a little bit easier on himself. And he did last night. It's just everyone seems to be playing within themselves a little bit better over the last 3 games.
Yeah, we will get to what was commented on the panel yesterday about the management and the nuclear option. We'll get to that in the second segment. We're going to show highlight 2 goals. They were just phenomenal. But we're going to end with this one. Caster1990 says, Gager, I was in the section below where you and Gene do the intermission hits. During the second, I looked up and saw the intense focus you had watching the game. Now I get how people are afraid of you. Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
He is very scary. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. More Oilers talk on the other side of the break. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Keep the messages coming to the Nasty Chat and the River Cree inbox. We're back after the break. Here's Coop with your sports update.
Just 2 games in the NHL. Joseph Woll starts for the Leafs as they take on the Avalanche before Seattle meets Minnesota, seeing Colorado's Josh Manson out 3 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury. He's been out since exiting last week's game against the Flames. And NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman answered questions this morning, being asked if the league has considered changing their playoff format, where Bettman simply answered, quote, no. Bettman also expressed that the NHL is reevaluating the way they do the All-Star Game. NBA action sees Oklahoma hosting Philly, the Mavericks tipping off against the Pacers, Chicago hitting the road in Phoenix, and the Nuggets matching up against the Lakers, having 11 games around the association. And the NCAA play-in round continues. The Longhorns have the Musketeers, while the Mountaineers face the Eagles. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can make an impact at capitalcarefoundation.net. More with Hernan and Joaquin as they enter into highlights, lowlights on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
It's time for a wing throwdown at the Canadian Brewhouse. Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. Who's got the best flavor? Come taste the heat and get your wing fix anytime. Plus 69-cent wings all day Wednesdays. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Love is in the air.
I love you.
And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
123, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubish here. It's a funny how we're viewed, when the Oilers are a mess, the views just skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
When they win by 6 goals, people tend to be like more relaxed and like, I don't need to listen to them for the chaos.
It was funny because I ducked out a little bit early last night, and I'm in the elevator with the attendant in there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're leaving?" And I go, "Oh yeah, look at this." I go, "Look at the score," because the TV's in there. He goes, "I guess," and he goes, "Yeah, it's kind of nice to have one of these games. You know, I like the close games." And I go, "Well, Oilers fans need this. They need a relaxing game that there's too much stress in the world as it is. You know, you don't need sometimes sports is great to have that anxiety, but once in a while, it's just nice to coast, right?
Yeah.
Coast through it and know your team's got everything handled. The 6 o'clocker loggers are just fine. You don't have to worry about going to the store and getting more. You can just have what's in the fridge and everything just is peaceful."
Yeah. Just because let's get those views up. So if you're with a buddy or a coworker right now, a friend, a pal, your significant other, grab their phone. Go on YouTube. Search Edmonton Sports Talk. Hit the live button. That's ESC Afternoon. Hit the thumbs up and watch us. We're fun, Gager.
Are we?
I hope we are.
My mom says we are.
So does my mom. Yeah.
I don't tell my mom when I'm on the Sportsnet panel.
Yeah.
She phoned me right before the show or whatever. And she was like, "You were on," and like first like upset that I didn't tell her, but she was she's happy to see me on there.
Yeah, you gotta tell your mom. They love watching.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? All right, let's get to a few goals from last night, Joaquin, before we get into this whole nuclear options and the management and knob and all that, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big as some are making it out to be, but we'll get to it. So if Kub has the first goal, because listen, the Oilers were shot out of a cannon last night. They were really good, but then they get shorthanded right off the bat, and they had like 3-4 really good shifts. And Nuge, who's coming off an excellent game in New York, and there's nothing really to it. It's just the finish, Joaquin, to take it to the net. Something we haven't seen from this player a lot this season. I just love the goal.
Great goal. Horrible goal against. So
yeah. Well, you look at Vejmelka, he's like, really?
It's funny because the Nuge, if you think back, and I believe it was him that scored the overtime goal at that first game in Utah, he put it. Vejmelka was completely on the other side again on his blocker side. I don't know what it is, but he completely lost his net. Same type of thing. Just Nuge had a little bit more time, and on his thanks, Reed, on his backhand. But it's a different player completely. It's amazing what one good game can do, and it doesn't matter how many games you've played or how good you've been for such a long period of time. And it's just starting to feel good about yourself, putting the puck in the net or being big part of a win, no less, against the Rangers. And then he's able to, fend off kind of 2 guys and sneaky little wrister. And it was a bullet.
And it was game over there. And let's get to the third goal. This one crushed them. This is when you knew it was over. This is when I took my victory lap and said, it's over. People were like, Hernan, there's 40 minutes. Like, what a set play. Boom, boom, boom.
just the complete demoralization of this whole goal. And I have to say that's an unstoppable puck, because when you saw it in slow motion, Connor kind of loses it a little bit, but then just has the deft touch just to poke it back the other way, just inside the post. Like he did. That's the difficulty of when a guy like Connor McDavid comes down on a goaltender, because most guys know what they're going to do from the red line in, right? It's like, oh, forward backhand, top shelf. That's what I'm doing. He is able to his hockey processor goes at such a high speed. If something happens, oh, I can change and just do this, right? And it was crazy, but
I love it, man.
it was
when he skated in front of Ekholm before the pass, he probably said active.
but it's more the amount of time left in that game, where it was, the situation of the club, the Utah Hockey Club needing a victory and just completely unprepared. They were already in the dressing room to get ready for the second, and the Oilers pull something like this. It was genius. Great play.
Yeah, Ekholm finds Bouchard at center, who's waiting. He's got his back towards the Utah net, and McDavid's just one touch it to me. That was a beautiful, beautiful play. That's like an indoor soccer play, Joaquin.
Is it?
Yeah, I never made a play like that, but it was fantastic. Like, what a goal! And this was the crusher. 3 seconds left in the first period, and you knew it was over. Matthew Kachuk on the Nasty Chat says, "You're tolerable. I like the bookbinder the best." Well, everybody loves reading the best.
Come on.
That goes without saying. What was it? Okay, so on the panel, your partner there mentioned that the management had mentioned it to the coaching staff that it was too much of the nuclear option, which I think is fine. I don't think it was in the I don't think the tone was aggressive or upset, or I think it was a conversation that probably a lot of managements have with their coaching staff when something's up or something's just not working and the team is struggling. So I look at it as they're like, hey, let's try to see what we have with these guys separate, and let's go from there. What do you make of those comments made? And because it's interesting to me, because it's something we've been talking about for since the Four Nations, Joaquin, and it's obviously the management, they're smart hockey men and they realize it too. But I think for me, it was just a casual conversation. Hey, Chris, let's try this.
Well, yeah, and who knows how long it's been going on?
Yeah,
right. I always go back to your favorite sports movie or book, Moneyball, where in the movie they show Brad Pitt and Philip Seymour Hoffman battling over the starting roster.
Yeah,
right. So I don't think it got to that heated, but I think there have been discussions that are saying, look, we're and I don't know how the relationship goes, right? Obviously the GM and JJ, they build the team, but it's up to the coach to how he implements it, right?
Yeah.
And for them to have these discussions, and maybe it's a war room type of discussion, right? That Bob was talking about. It didn't really elaborate too much on it, but he did say that this was a concern from upper management, and discussions had been had with the coaching staff. It just depends on the tone of these things and how it was received from the coaching staff too, right? So I'm sure they don't like to be told what to do, but it was interesting to hear after I was just commenting on I liked the fact that those two had been split up and that the responsibilities of the game was evenly distributed throughout the whole lineup.
Yeah, because I think Tommy made a good point where if that's Hitchcock or Todd McClellan, it's probably different because they're more veteran, they're set in their ways, and they're probably like, sure, I'll listen, but this is my team, and I'll disperse how I feel is the best, right? Where Knobloch's, I'm not saying he's not a vet, but he's new to the NHL, right?
But that's what people don't understand. A lot of these guys play in the American League, right?
Yeah.
And you talk to Marty McSorley tells a great story about coaching in the American League because he was a coach of a team that was affiliated with 2 NHL teams, so it's even tougher. But what happens is you get mandated from the top team Play our first round pick. Play our, all our good prospects. Play them. Don't be playing the guys on 25 gamers. But the coach in the minors is like, well, I got to win.
Yeah.
I want to get to the next level too.
I want to keep my job.
Yeah. So it's I would say probably and then there's just a revolving door of like you look at the roster sizes of American League teams at the end of the year, they're huge, right? Because of all the transactions, and you're just trying to do the best you can with what you got. A little bit different in the NHL. I think it's a little bit more set, but Nobla has been in the American League and dealt with those types of things and having probably mandates from teams that the players that they wanted to have to be playing in certain situations. So he's no newcomer to it, but then again, you get to the NHL and you think you know the best way to have success. And you probably, like, when you tell me what to do on this show, I don't listen to you, right? I'm my own man.
Very similar situation. But I look at it like this. Knobloch last year when he came in, he made all the right calls. Like, we praised him.
Yeah.
This year, it's been a little bit more difficult for him. He's gone nuclear far too early in games, far too much. So I'm kind of glad management kind of stepped in and said, hey, let's, we had a lot of success last year with these two guys on separate lines. Well, no one's saying don't go to them after a successful PK or if you're down a goal late. No one's saying don't go to them because they're very good together. But I'm kind of glad they stepped in there and said, hey, because it wasn't working.
No.
Right?
No.
And that's the biggest thing. It was not working, and everybody else was on an island. No one knew their roles. Now, he said yesterday that he's going to run with Nugent center for a while. Why not? Him and Podkolzin and Arvidsson looks like there's something there, Joaquin. So stick with it.
And look, sometimes that's the beauty of it all. He's splitting up the big two, and what's blossomed from it is the realization that the Nuge maybe, getting new life, more responsibility on his own line, has grabbed the ball and run with it. And he's got some sort of duo with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Victor Arvidsson. I think there's something there that, what a great time to discover something like that, that extra arrow in the quiver in certain cases where maybe you need to find some chemistry. And it's not putting McDavid and Draisaitl together. It's getting Nuge away and putting him with Arvidsson and Podkolzin.
You know where I think Frederick's going to play?
Are you asking me, or am I going to guessing, or are you just telling me?
I'm going to tell you.
Is it rhetorical, this question?
He's going to play with Draisaitl.
Think so.
Yes, because Connor Brown's not a fit with Draisaitl. And I know he works hard and all, but he doesn't have the finish. It's plain and simple. I don't mind Perry up there once in a while. I don't think he can be a regular. So I think Trent Frederick's going to get the first look with Leon Draisaitl when he gets in his first game.
I would say you probably have something there.
Yeah. I just think because they haven't found anyone to play with him. Arvidsson hasn't worked. Podkolzin, as much as people praise him, it hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Draisaitl's been a man on a mission by himself. Like, he's been outstanding. Now, a lot of the time, he's in the nuclear option because they've gone to it a lot this year. But for me, I think Trent Frederick's going to get a look there, especially if Nuge and that line can continue to play the way they are. I mean, why not? The guy can hit. He's physical. He has a scoring touch. He scored 17 and 18 goals. Maybe he's the player they need with Draisaitl.
It'd be amazing if they finally found someone other than 97 that was good with, or consistently good with Leon Draisaitl. I think that's Hyman's always been with McDavid, right? That's kind of,
and they work so well.
They work well together. But Leon's never really had someone like a Hyman, right? And Leon plays a physical style. And maybe it's with Frederick, it'd be interesting to see. He's probably can't wait to see if that works, right?
Yeah, I heard.
So who did he play with in Boston? He was in a third.
He was
line.
mostly third line, but this year he moonlighted in the top six because they didn't have a lot of depth.
Yeah,
right?
he was playing with Pasternak a little bit, right?
Yeah. He'd be like, top 9 role for sure, right? And I think that's his role is going to be with the Oilers. And why not try him with Draisaitl when, like you said, on a consistent basis, no one's worked with Draisaitl outside of McDavid.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Could you say Nuge? There's been There's been points where him and Nuge have worked well together.
But I mean, this year, I don't know who's like maybe Corey Perry at times.
Leon Draisaitl has been so good,
Yeah.
and this is what you want from your best players: is making the others around you great.
Yeah.
And even when, like, a lot of times Leon's on a helicopter line, right? It's no wings; it's just him.
Yeah.
And but he still had success, which is crazy.
Which is unfortunate because bringing in Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson, we all thought that was the problem solving for Leon Draisaitl, because even last year it was a rotation there.
Yeah.
And this year it's been the same thing. So if they can find one steady guy to be with Leon Draisaitl, I think that's going to go a long way for this Edmonton Oilers team. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. UFC 314 is going down at the Canadian Brewhouse April 12th. Catch the action on the most TVs with epic food and drinks. Don't miss it. Our house is your house, the Canadian Brewhouse. I'll be in Mexico for that fight. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is.
You going to miss me?
Probably.
You and Maddie are going to just take over the show.
Oh, thank God.
I might not even have a job when I get back.
It's the week. We'll find something for you to do around here.
It's the week before playoffs, so it's going to be fun. All
what
right.
week is that?
The week right before the playoff. Last week of the season.
So from April what?
11th. And then I get back on the 18th. But
18th?
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes. Look at money bags over here.
And you're off too.
When?
The week before that.
Am I?
Yeah.
I think that's mandated.
They just told you have too many days. You got to take them off.
Yeah.
All right. So on the Nasty Chat and on the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. Let us know. Are you with Team Hernan? Trent Frederick should get the first look. Leon Draisaitl once he's ready to go. Or who else do you want to see him? Who do you think he can have consistent success with? Let us know. Coming up next, we're going to shift gears just a little bit in Hernan's world. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Here's Coop with your sports update.
After exiting last week's game against the Flames, Josh Manson of the Avalanche has been ruled out for another 3 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury. And Colorado has puck drop tonight against Toronto before the Wild take on the Kraken, seeing just 2 games around the NHL. And Gary Bettman, the league's commissioner, addressed the media this morning saying that the NHL is, quote, reevaluating how they want to do things in regards to the All-Star game, saying that the 4 nations face-off, quote, raised the bar. A trio of WHL matches, Saskatoon visits Brandon, the Rebels and Hitmen have puck drop before Kelowna battles Victoria, and the lone women's contest has the Sirens challenge the Scepters in Toronto. On the court, there's 11 games. Detroit takes on Miami. Houston visits Orlando. The Grizzlies and Trailblazers go at it before Sacramento hosts Cleveland. The sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style. Premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. And don't forget, Gimme Virtual Golf gives away 2 free hours of golf here on EST Afternoons every other week. That's next week, so stay tuned for that. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Find out more at GimmeVirtualGolf.ca. Hernan's World comes up next. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
We're also going to win money on him breaking Wayne's record.
3 players active are trajecting to have a chance to catch Ovechkin when he beats the record. It's Matthews, it's Pasternak, and it's Draisaitl.
If they stay healthy and they're...
Leon Draisaitl's staying healthy. He's the toughest man alive.
he's the best thing I've ever seen.
He's the toughest man alive.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Oh, we're back. 143. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here from the William Hub Studio. I was not ready for that. All good. We survived it. Just some quick messages on the nasty chat. A lot of people saying the line should be Kane, Draisaitl, Frederick. That would be a good line, but both guys are up in the air. We don't know when they're playing.
Kane, Draisaitl, Frederick?
Yeah. That's a heavy line.
Yeah,
still.
I mean, I think that's yeah, okay. I mean, we'll see. We all, like, if memory serves correctly, Kane wasn't as, but this could have been because of the injury too, right? Because it got progressively worse, and the chemistry between Kane and Leon wasn't great, right?
No.
So maybe
wasn't bad.
It wasn't good. Maybe just having a healthier Kane that can get around a little bit better.
Yeah.
Might create a little bit more chemistry for those two.
I actually don't mind that. That's pretty good. And one more from Hersey. Afternoon, fellas. Man, it feels good to see that outcome last night. Oilers played well, but Utah looked like a junior B team. They couldn't get anything going at all. Big test tomorrow. I'm more interested in that than taking much out of last night. Other than it was much better. And guys, we haven't seen in a while get on the scores.
See, like, yeah, I that's what I thought I would hear a lot of today is Oilers fans happy, but then saying, well, the other team sucked. And they didn't play well. But they weren't allowed to play well.
Yeah, the Oilers were good.
Either. Like I think it was probably the second period. The Nuge was just a dog on a bone.
Yeah,
lost the puck. They were going back the other way. He strips it at the offensive blue line and goes back into the zone with it. Right, like the neutral zone play of the Edmonton Oilers was fantastic. They got some chances and things like that, but they weren't allowed to get back in that game or feel comfortable. Usually when you see a team that's up by that amount of goals, there's a lot more defensive lapses.
Yeah, the Oilers played well last night.
Played really well. Yeah. Like they that was a full consistent 60-minute game that they just didn't let off the gas. Although I'll say one thing, that Logan Cooley,
he's a good player.
He's shifty.
Shifty little
he's a good player, man. That's a really, really good player.
He is excellent. All right, we got to switch gears quickly. Coming up in hour 2, more Oilers talk. Tim Hauraney to talk some F1, and we'll do this day in sports history and all that fun stuff. Hernan's World is brought to you by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Early bird golf memberships are now on sale with discounts for seniors and first responders, plus special rates for Sturgeon County residents. Enjoy GPS cards and awesome driving range deals. Inside, kick back and enjoy a pint or a pound of wings in their full bar and restaurant. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. Oh, it didn't work again. Anyways, what is wrong with me, Joaquin?
You're struggling this week with that thing. Coob always asks you to test it before.
But Coob, did we not test it before and it worked?
No, we did not test it.
No.
Yeah, I played it on here.
I don't remember.
That's why your the show was going through. Remember when I'm like, why am I hearing double Joaquin?
True.
Okay, that's true.
Tested it during the show then.
Let's try it. Let's try it again.
Viva la raza!
So what did you do there? Did you realize what you did there? Did you reconnect the Bluetooth?
Latino heat. Yeah, I had to close it and restart it, but it shouldn't do that because I did that before the show and it's ready to go. So what disconnects it?
Might need a new laptop.
All right, guys. Today in Hernan's Roll, we're going to do a top 3. We're going to have some fun. We want you to participate as well. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat or the River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Reed did a great topic yesterday. We're going to do a fun one as well regarding the same thing. The trailer drop for Happy Gilmore 2 looks good. I'll indulge for sure. But I want to know from each of you and all our Nasties your top 3 sequels for you. Whoever wants to start can start.
I'll start. The first one, obviously, you're looking for the criteria is building off the first and actually rivaling the first movie. Like you're like, wow, that is amazing.
Like I don't want you to go from Rocky 1 to Rocky 4, right?
No, this is the next one.
Yeah.
So obviously, the first one is one of the best ever. It's got to be Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Really?
stop it.
Really?
I can't
it's
really
better than the first one.
I can't really remember those movies.
Star Wars?
Yeah. What's the first one
I
called?
Am Your Father.
Star Wars.
No, but it didn't have
A
like
New
a
Hope.
side name.
It's a New Hope. It's a New Hope.
Oh,
It's
see?
episode 4 technically, but when it came out, it's
Yeah,
no,
episode
that's-
1, and then
No, the
they did the
originals. Name
prequels.
all the originals. Star Wars.
Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Boom.
Isn't Return of the Jedi really good?
They're all good.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. Anyways, Coop, your first one.
Well, I don't even know what to say to that one. I'm just gonna gloss over that. It's not even worth my breath.
Wow.
Shrek 2.
Oh,
Shrek
I like
2 is
it.
awesome, right? Puss in Boots is there. They storm the castle and stuff like
Hercules.
that.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's actually really good.
That is a good one.
Probably better than
that.
the
That
first one.
matches the first one for
Yeah.
sure. Then they got kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think
Shrek
there's another
6
one
now.
coming.
Yeah.
Shrek 5.
6.
Really?
6?
Technically 6. I don't know how many.
See,
other
you gotta
ones
you
they
gotta
have.
stop
They got
at
a bunch
one
of weird
point,
ones,
right?
yeah.
You gotta stop at one point. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
Fast and
start. I'm
Furious.
gonna start with one of my all-time favorites. Both of you guys probably have never watched this, but Young Guns 2.
Yeah.
It's just as good as the first one.
But
And
what is that about?
And I won't take no for an ounce. What, did you just ask me what Young Guns was about?
Yes.
It's a Western with Emilio Estevez, Billy the Kid.
Okay.
if you're putting that into the category of Westerns, though, it's not the best.
No, but for me it is. Like,
okay, for
because
you.
Young Guns, the first one is amazing, and the second one's just as good.
Second one's sad. I did research after watching the second one.
So did I, about Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, did this really happen?
Yeah. It's
Great
kind of, and the soundtrack's awesome. I liked it because it had all the originals that survived the first one.
Yeah.
And then you added Christian Slater in there.
Yeah, he was a jerk.
John, was it Pete Garrett? Pete Garrett, who was Billy the Kid's buddy, but then turned on him.
Yeah, what was his name? He was a CSI guy.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Grissom.
Yeah, he was Grissom.
All right, Gage, you're number 2.
Well, going to something that was provided a little levity and just as funny as the first one. It's amazing when you watch these shows how many one-liners are in them, but I have to go with Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
That's a good one.
I didn't even go that Austin Powers route. All of them are so good.
Oh, they're all
too,
good.
right?
But I mean, the first one was so good. You could just watch the montage of the first one because Elizabeth Hurley's a fembot and Austin becomes single again, right? And he goes through the hotel naked and stuff.
I might say the second one's better.
So good.
Like, for real.
So good, man. Love Mike Myers.
All right, Coop.
Well, a franchise that you've never watched for some reason, I still don't understand. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That's the third one.
That's
though.
the third one? Oh, is it? Well, whatever the second one is, because all of them
people
are
don't like the
fantastic.
second one. It's the Temple of Doom, but I liked the Temple of Doom. I thought it was one of the first movies that the action never stopped in that movie. But it wasn't. I mean, if Dusty was here, you'd probably get fired. So good thing, because
I remember seeing a shot from one of the Indiana Jones when they're like at a dinner and someone cuts a snake open and all these little.
That's Temple of Doom.
Temple of
Is that
Doom.
the monkey brain?
The monkey
too?
brains, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the one. That's the one.
When she, that's where Steven Spielberg met. What's her name? Forget her name, but yeah, he got divorced and married her.
Really?
Yeah.
So, do you want to switch it, or it's still a sequel?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. No, you're good.
Either way.
I'm messing with you, but
flip a coin.
Actually, you wouldn't get fired. I think Last Crusade is
I hope not.
Dusty's favorite Indiana Jones movie.
I don't trust Dusty's taste in movies, like his taste in food. My number 2 is going to be The Godfather 2.
Maybe you're getting fired when he gets back.
Godfather 2. If there's ever a movie that like it can outperform the first one that was an absolute classic, Godfather 2 does it, man. When they
DVD
go back,
swears by that. It's better than the first, right?
When they go back to like when the Godfather was young with Robert De Niro, and then Michael Corleone's taking over. Oh man, what a movie! That should be the only answer.
Good movie.
Anywho, your last one.
Last one, honorable mention to Dune 2, but because it's essentially part of the first book, I can't put it as the actual sequel. So I think the next movie is the Dune Messiah, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of the sequel to it. But honorable mention goes to Dune 2 because it was a really good movie. But I'll have to go back to my comic book heroes, The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger as the Joker. Won an Academy Award for that performance. Great, unbelievable sequel in that series.
Coob, you're number 3.
Well, if Dusty thought about firing me, he should hear what I'm going to say right now. Back to the Future, too.
Oh, yeah. Way to get back in his good books.
Yeah. I'm back in the groove, boys. I'm back in the groove.
I've never seen that one. So.
What?
Wow.
And my number 3 is honorable mention. I'm going to go Mighty Ducks 2. Like as a growing up, like they go to the represent USA and they take on Team Iceland.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
And that was a Foggy Nelson.
Yeah. That's Foggy Nelson. Yeah. But my number 3 has to be Maverick.
Oh, the Top Gun series.
Man. What? And I know it was like a long gap, 2 decades, probably even more between the movies, but it was so well done. Fantastic movie.
You like that one? I liked it. I got to watch it again, I think. But you know the theory behind that movie? You ever read about? Because look, you can't eject from a plane going Mach 10. All right, your skin will rip off your face. He dies. That he actually died there, and then went back, and this was all a dream.
Oh, I didn't know. Thanks for ruining the movie.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
We got a lot of good ones coming in. I worst ones ever, probably Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, Dumb and Dumberer. That went back to where they were younger or whatever.
And then they did another one with the 2 original guys.
Yeah, was that bad?
Brutal. I lasted 5 minutes, and I'm like, this is so cheesy. I heard Anchorman 2 is awful. I won't watch it because I don't want it to ruin the first one for me.
How about Silence of the Lambs 2 or whatever it was, like Hannibal? They had a different actor for...
Or Red Dragon, was it?
I think it was Red Dragon, wasn't it? That was with Edward Norton.
That was good.
I liked that one. If you like that series, it was on Netflix, but the TV series, Hannibal, or was it called Hannibal? That was dark. That was with that Danish guy, Mars Madsen. It was heavy. Really good.
No one picked Toy Story 2, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know I'm picking a lot of
I think
kids,
I like the third one better. Just the story around it. It's just deeper, you know? It's more hitting. Like it hits your heart a little bit more.
Doesn't Quentin Tarantino call, I think it's like Toy Story 3 is the best movie ever.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all so good.
They are
I
good.
love them all.
Yeah.
All right. In the Nasty Chat, C-Run says Terminator 2. Induce Comics says The Dark Knight. Rip Van Winkle says The Bourne Supremacy. Mex Pazuzu, Godfather 2, Empire, and Toy Story 2 are his picks. Giancarlo, Slapshot 2. Mad Max, Fury Road. Penner's Pancake says Superman 2, Empire Strikes Back, Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh my God.
Kill Bill Volume 2.
Ooh, that was good.
Let's see. We got a bunch. Temple of Doom is the second one. I like it as much as Raiders from Penner's Pancakes.
Yeah, I liked it too, man. It's ripping hearts out.
Norm says Police Academy 2. That was a classic, too.
Yeah.
VR says Bill and Ted's Bogus
I heard
Journey.
that was good. I never watched it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. That was good, too. And
Grown Ups 2?
Pitch Perfect 2. Grown Ups was pretty good.
Grown Ups
actually,
was good
The
too.
second one was better than
That's
the
when they
first,
peed
for
in the
sure.
pool and it all went purple, right? That's hilarious.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Big Uke says Anchor 2 was great. Anchorman 2 was great. Die Hard 2? I didn't even know there was a second part.
Are you serious?
There's like 3 or 4,
There's like
isn't there?
18 diehards.
I never watched Die Hard.
Dying Harder. They could have just went that way, right? Fast and Furious 2?
This is a really good one, boys. From Smith TM14. Rush Hour 2. That was good.
No, Rush Hours were good.
Jason and Leduc, he says, wait, no. Star Trek 2. Wrath of
Khan.
Sure. Rusty Shackleford, Home Alone 2.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. I'm with Gager. Empire by a goddamn mile.
That was crazy, man. That was the first kind of movie with a twist, right? Like everyone came out and was like, "What? Are you serious?"
Yeah.
You know, there was so much, and it was great because I think I remember as a kid. Obviously, we just got televisions back then, so there wasn't a lot of information. But you heard something was up with this movie, what was happening. And when Darth Vader, spoiler alert, when Darth Vader calls Luke his son, like the theater, just the gasp of everything. It was unbelievable.
That's too funny. Yeah, there's a lot of good sequels. Meet the Parents is another good one.
Or is that Meet the Fockers? Or is that the
Meet
third
the
one?
Fockers is the second one.
That's hilarious.
That's such a good one, man. Alien.
Alien was a great one.
Too Fast, Too Furious. Big Uke, is that the one when I think Tyrese was in it? Because that's an awful movie.
No, wasn't it Tokyo Drift?
Is that the third one, or is that?
Was that? Yeah,
they've made like 15.
They have too many. That's one of the ones where they should just stop.
Is this true? In their last one, they go to space.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Toretto's in space. I'm the stunt double. I know Chanel. Yeah.
So a lot of people are telling me there's a Young Guns 3 coming.
No.
Yes.
That's gonna suck.
Let's see. Emilio Estevez confirms production of Young Guns 3, Dead or Alive original cast. Well, the guys that survived in the movie.
No one survived.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind.
It was a prequel?
It might be the prequel. No, well then, yeah, because someone put in the nasty chat that they're all going to be in the movie, but I'm like, are they just playing different characters? Probably then. Hey, but did Billy the Kid die?
Well, no, you know what my dad said about that? He said there was a lot of people that came out and said they were Billy the Kid.
Yeah. A lot of people took credit for it.
So
it's such an interesting. I'm intrigued. I'll watch that for sure. Sheldon says rumors with Emilio. So Fast and the Furious is amazing. You can shut your mouth, Coob, from Big.
Is there? But let me ask you this. I mean, this would probably take a lot more thinking involved. But is there a movie out there that you wish they made a sequel to and never did?
Well, that's what Reed's.
Oh, is that what Reed?
Yes.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great minds. Sorry, Reed. Just ripping you off more.
There's a lot though that need a second part. Like on the spot. What could I come?
What was Reed's? Do you remember?
Coob, do you remember?
No, I don't. I know. I know. Step Brothers would be a good one though.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, there's some Will Ferrell ones that you'd probably want as a.
Yeah. All right, we got to get out here. It's 2:02, first hour. Lots of Oilers. We did highlights, lowlights, and keep sending us your favorite sequels, movie sequels in honor of the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 dropping. That looks pretty damn good, so we'll be able to judge it once we all get to watch it. So we'll continue to have some fun with that. Up next, more Oilers talk. We'll go around the NHL and around the world of sports along with Tim Hauraney at 2:20 to talk some F1. Keep slamming that thumbs up. We're 34 away from 100. Let's try to get there. We got an hour to go, and hit us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Talk to you in a bit.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse with epic food, killer drinks, and an unbeatable vibe. Plus, download the Canadian Brewhouse app and score free nachos on your big day. Book your party now to celebrate like a pro. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Joseph Woll starts in between the pipes for Toronto as they drop the puck against Colorado, and Josh Manson, Avalanche defenseman, will miss up to a month with an upper body injury. He hasn't played since last week, exiting the second period against the Flames. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman answered some media questions this morning. He was asked if the league would consider changing the playoff format, where he simply responded, quote, "No." Bettman then expressed that the league will reevaluate their approach to the All-Star game after seeing the success of the Four Nations face-off. And its next meeting, the Spurs Washington on the road in Utah. The Mavericks facing the Pacers before the Lakers play the Nuggets, having 11 games around the NBA. And according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, offensive tackle Cam Robinson is signing with the Texans. And 2 March Madness playing games go down. Xavier has a date with Texas, and the Eagles tip off against the Mountaineers. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoons starts right now.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. It's hour 2 as we're live from the William Huff Studios here on the west side of the city. Off day for the Oilers. They did practice. McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, and Hyman all took a day. Game time decisions according to Knobloch, but I expect them all to play. tomorrow against a very good Winnipeg Jets team. That's going to be fun to tee up. That's going to be really, really fun. We just did Hernan's World, still getting a lot of best sequels coming in. And there's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of terrible ones out there as well. And Tim Hauraney coming up in about 13 minutes. We're going to recap week 1 in F1 and look ahead to the Chinese Grand Prix that goes down this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chris says Mission Impossible sequels are awesome.
Mission Impossible 2. Which one was that? Was that the one with the John Woo? Was that Mission Impossible 2? I think it was.
T-Mac, the rugby guy, says Billy the Kid didn't die. He was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Rob the Plumber, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, really good.
Yeah.
Old School Nasty says Billy the Kid survived. He was the one telling the story. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I was shocked that he had survived that long, right? Yeah. And I went to that movie with my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and walking out, and he said, I asked him, I go, did that really happen? He goes, no, my dad remembered. He distinctly remembers that there were people that claimed that they were Billy the Kid. But
yeah, it's I love that story. Bonnie Doon Ron says the Hangover sequel. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
go to Taiwan or Thailand.
Thailand.
This one with no name says Beverly Hills Cop. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Part 2 is pretty good as well. Really, really good. It's they're all pretty good. Even the new one's pretty decent. Oh,
sorry.
You okay there?
Yeah, just wrong pipe. No, I'm thinking about the Lord of the Rings one, but it's Two Towers. I mean, Fellowship was so good. Two Towers was good too.
I tried. Like I watched the first 2, and I just not my thing.
No, I'm shocked you would watch anything with like goblins and stuff.
The Matrix Reloaded was also really good.
Yeah, I rewatched The Matrix. That's still. I don't know how you haven't watched that.
Because it's not considered a great movie, is it? I don't know. I'm just being. Oh, man. So the Oilers get the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow. So Vancouver won yesterday. Calgary won yesterday. And St. Louis won.
Kind of. The Utah.
Poo-pooed them.
It was a terrible night for the hockey club.
It was. And then I know the GM meetings are going on, and the season will start on October 7th. It's a Tuesday.
October 7th?
Yeah. For
next year.
Season. Yeah.
Huh. That's what they came up with?
That's what they came up with, a date.
Well, so start on a Tuesday and neck guards? That's what they're doing down there?
Yeah. And Gary Bettman was asked about changing the playoff format, and it was a hard no. He likes the way it's going right now.
Did you listen to the morning show about that?
No.
And who was talking about it? How every other league has changed their format, their playoff format, and kind of made sense to me. But it's already like have some sort of play-ins or whatever. I was like, yeah, it's kind of neat to think about it, but I don't like it. After thinking about it, I don't like it. I think it should stay the way it is, right? And even though if there is expansion, there would be more teams out than in or whatever. And it's so hard to win. You don't. And if a team goes through some sort of play-in, why have that next round where a team's fully healed and just beats up like in the NFL, right?
Yeah,
that play-in, the team comes in and just gets destroyed anyway.
Yeah, I don't like the.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. And listen, when it was 1 versus 8, everybody wanted to change. They changed it because it was going to create more rivalries. And look, LA is probably going to play the Oilers for the 4th straight time. You don't think those guys are going to be angry, and it's going to make for a great series?
Yeah, and even when you've kind of broke it down and looked at it and gone 1 through 8, it's a lot of times it's the same matchup.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's very similar. Yeah. So it's always going to be hard, and it just is what it is. I'm okay with the way it's set up now. I truly am.
I think people just, I don't know why it is, and maybe it was the parity of the league, but when you had those 1 through 8s, 8 always got destroyed.
Yeah.
And now, it's not uncommon for the first round to have the majority of the series go to 7.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you want. I mean, look at last night. And we said this last night on the post-game show. The parity of the league is absolutely crazy. You can't tell me that how many people, except, true gambling degenerates, put money on the Vancouver Canucks to beat the Winnipeg Jets last night, right? Anything can happen on any given night.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Good on the Canucks. That's a hell of a race. St. Louis ain't going away. Calgary ain't going away. Calgary's impressive. 2-1 in New York. They just held on and they did everything possible to get that result. So I think Utah's going to tail off a bit here for sure, but it's going to come down to those 3 teams. Hopefully it's a Canadian team. It's always better when there's more Canadian teams, right? So I don't want St. Louis in there because then we got to hear about Holloway and Broberg for the rest of the playoffs.
And I know it's probably bad for me to say. I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm partial to the Canadian announcers too. You know how if you're watching an American, and it's fine, don't get me wrong, but I do prefer, maybe it's the familiarity with them, but when you have a Canadian matchup, most likely you're going to have the Canadian broadcasters do things, right? Especially in that first round and maybe into the rounds further on, you get an American broadcast team, and you're not used to hearing them, right?
Yeah.
I'm old. I don't like change.
Yeah, not too much change. Just leave it how it is. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. The Oilers went to a Stanley Cup final.
Oh, they're back to the final now?
No, I said last year they did.
Did they?
Well, they're back, baby.
No, they're not back yet. There's a lot of work to do.
They just beat Utah 7-1. A team that was rolling.
Yeah, I know. This is a good test here. This will be a very interesting. I want to see the matchups. I want to see how Connor does against some of the D pairings.
Like that. Winnipeg's going to pose an interesting game because they're loaded, man.
Where would they meet? Would it be the finals or what?
Conference finals?
Conference finals?
Yeah, I don't think they can meet. Well, it depends where the Oilers finish, too, right?
Yeah.
So,
but as of today, it would be the finals, though, wouldn't it?
Conference final, yeah.
Yeah. That would be great. I hope so. I mean, but I wonder with Colorado. Colorado's good, man. Colorado's really good. I wonder if Landeskog will be back for playoffs.
There's not a lot of weak teams in the West. I think any team can beat any team that are competing right now. So let's say the 10 teams that are there, or 11 teams.
So Winnipeg would play the Wild first round?
No, the Winnipeg right now. Winnipeg's going to get Calgary, Vancouver, St. Louis.
Okay.
Vegas would get Minnesota.
Oh.
Dallas, Colorado, Edmonton, LA.
I mean, pick your poison, I guess. Winnipeg, they'd be the heavy favorite. Again, that's the only one where you'd really heavily favor. And I mean...
But those 3 teams scare me because they're coming in already playing playoff hockey.
They've been playing it for a while now, right?
And they're playing with house money. They're like, hey, no one expected us to be here. Well, outside of Vancouver, but Calgary and St. Louis, no one expected us to be here. Let's just go out there and have some fun.
Yeah.
Create a ruckus.
Yeah, well, I think the most dangerous team to do it would be the St. Louis Blues. Just because of, there's a lot of guys that were there on their cup run. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like January 3rd of that season. They were I think they were like 32nd in the league, right?
Yeah.
And then they went, Binnington caught fire and they just rolled.
Yeah. Who's the coach there is Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Collingwood Rob says the Canucks blew up my 4 and 5 game parlay against them. I mean, I would have picked Winnipeg too.
Just imagine if you bet it the other way and that you hit on that one. That was the one. That would have been huge.
Because tomorrow the line between the Oilers and Jets probably going to be very, very low. You're not going to be able to make a lot either way.
You don't think so?
No. Especially since the Oilers are back. You got to take that into consideration. Stuart Skinner versus Connor Hellebuck. Man, it's going to be a fun game. I love when these 2 teams meet, man. It's gonna be great. I already booked the Jets guest for tomorrow as well. So for Winnipeg audiences listening or watching, 2:20 surprise.
I guess I could look it up, but yeah, no, I'm looking. That's when I saw this game on the schedule at this time of the year. I had it circled.
It's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a fun one to be at, and Reed will be there, Tommy will be there, probably Wanik. You're not gonna be there tomorrow, are you? No.
I might actually. It all depends if my good friend Taran Sanwith comes through and invites me.
I see.
No, I'm kidding.
I need to get to more games here. I have to ask one of the young
Where do you like
bucks.
to sit? Do you like to sit in the press box?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Do you rather sit in the stands?
I don't really care. As long as I have a seat.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the press box.
Press box, you're more focused, right? Because everybody's there working.
Well, according to the guy that who said I was laser focused and mean?
I can't remember. Or Caster 1990.
Caster, Jesus. Not that mean.
Bronco Nick says Hernan, Huss is not a surprise. It's not Huss. Huss is just wrapping up his show still. You would enjoy it. No, it's a really good guest. He's a good dude.
Teppo Numminen.
He does a post-game show. He's really good. You guys will enjoy him. Well, if you're a Winnipeg fan, you'll enjoy him. I don't know if Edmonton. You like
Jonathan Toews?
We're going to have
Jonathan Toews next year?
Lowry.
Oh, Lowry.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get out here. But before we do, the River Cree Inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. We're going to switch gears. Room. Tim Hauraney, F1 and IndyCar Insider, also with TSN and the Nailing the Apex podcast, joins us next. You have any questions, any F1 questions for your fantasy team, or just want to ask Tim a question, we'll try to get to them. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons, 26 away from 100 thumbs up. Let's try to get there, please, and thank you. Here's Coop with your sports update.
Just 2 games in the NHL. Joseph Woll starting for the Leafs as they take on the Avalanche before Seattle meets Minnesota. And Colorado's Josh Manson is out 3 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury. He hasn't played since he exited last week's game against the Flames. And the NHL had a general managers meeting this morning. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman addressing with the media. He revealed that the 2025-26 season will start Tuesday, October 7th, while also being asked if the league has considered changing their playoff format, where he simply said, quote, no. NBA action sees Oklahoma hosting Philly. The Mavericks tipping off against the Pacers, Chicago hitting the road in Phoenix, and the Nuggets matching up with the Lakers, having 11 games around the NBA. And the NCAA playing round continues. The Longhorns have the Musketeers, while the Mountaineers face the Eagles. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc, they're the experts you need to know. Talking some F1 and Indy Car Insider, Tim Hauraney joins us on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. Trackman golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.223, welcome back to EST Afternoons. Lots of Oilers talk today on the show as they dominated the Utah Hockey Club 7-1 on Tuesday night. Back at it tomorrow here in Edmonton versus the Winnipeg Jets. Should be a fun one. But our favorite guy is going to join us right now, Tim Hauraney, F1 IndyCar insider, also with TSN and host on Nailing the Apex podcast, one of the best out there, if not the best. Tim Hauraney joins us now. Tim, how you doing today? He is not there.
Hold on. We'll get him here in a sec. We got to discuss some stuff.
He's not getting off the hook, man. He's not getting off the hook. But yeah, double race weekend. If you're a big racing guy, you got the IndyCar race, you got the F1 race. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I can't wait, man. It's going to be, and the times are kind of good, like 1 a.m. 1 a.m. I think is the race here.
Yeah, I might have to have a nap.
Yeah.
During the day and get up and
just have some wine and darts and.
Yeah, that'll keep me up.
Wow, just enough.
I'll be like Hajar on the formation lap. Just end my night.
End your night early, and it's gonna be fun though, because you can go out and do stuff or whatever, and then just kind of get comfy on the couch or in your room, wherever you have your TV, and watch.
Yeah, I like it. Well, it is late. I'll do my best. Like I said, I probably have to have some sort of a nap to get ready for this. But one of the things that I found, and then we talked about it already a little bit, but what I found interesting about last week is the communication with Ferrari. Right, I think that was out of the whole thing was the biggest kind of loser for the whole weekend. And there's been some discussion. I don't know if you've looked at this, but McLaren with some of their rear wing and technology, like there was a rule passed to change it a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because it's almost it happened last year too, where it almost turned into their built-in DRS where it was flattening out. So I think they're putting a little bit of different regulations on the stiffness of the back wing. So.
Yeah, we're having some issues here with the phone. I had some last night with the pregame, so I should have brought it up to Coop today. But yeah, we'll have Tim Hauraney here shortly. Maybe we'll have to go to break and bring him back later. Hey, Zach, just FYI, you probably, because it's connected to a Pixel phone, you probably have to turn your phone off and then reconnect. Okay, we'll have Tim here. We'll probably go a little bit later with him because, like I said, we have. And I saw also that some drivers are complaining about the tires McLaren's using. That they're like, why are they like? There's something there with it.
Oh God, yeah. There's always something.
Yeah, and then I know like Lando and Max we're talking about the Drive to Survive. They're just creating a soap opera. Like if you're gonna shoot us, like do it in the don't create.
You know, but it's not like they weren't. Like I watched the season live last year, and they were in the heat of the moment, right? They're angry at one another, and that's fine. But and Drive to Survive kind of plays on it a little bit, but yeah, toughen up, guys. Come on.
No, I think Verstappen's like, and I told him that, like, if they're going to keep portraying me the way they want to, like, I'm out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so-
Max. What, like, he doesn't care, though.
Well, obviously he does. He's complaining about it.
Care. I mean, he's a good villain, though. He's a great villain. You either die a hero or live long enough to
Wonder if that
become the
guy
villain.
has any friends.
Of course he does. He has all these F1 guys that he plays pickleball with. Do you see them all together?
Yeah, they're big pickleball guys, eh?
Yeah.
Because Lando, like, this is the impression I get from Drive to Survive. I feel like he's kind of a pushover.
Oh, yeah, they portray him a little bit as...
Like, they bully him.
Yeah.
Like, I remember they were, like, on a float, and George Russell just grabs his hat and throws it into the crowd.
I
and
know.
he's like, bro, that's, like, my only
Yeah.
hat. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Well, that was trying to get into the head of guys, right? That's what you do.
Well, that's
But
just-
Lando said he actually said it. I was a small kid in school. I got picked on a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
That's just being mean, though.
But what does he do at the end?
He wins.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
the
like
ultimate revenge.
I would just like him to push back a little bit more and not be because he's such a great driver and his personality is awesome.
I remember in that first year, and I think Lewis was behind Lando and in a good Mercedes car, and he was commenting on the skill of Lando and just said, Lando, great, he's a great driver. And because he was holding him at bay, right? Something that I could never understand, really, the intricacy of going around a racetrack and not allowing the guy behind you to pass and just being a master of defense is what they used to call Checo in those cases. But yeah, pretty cool.
It's going to be great, man. I can't wait. I think we got Tim Hauraney now, F1 and IndyCar Insider with TSN and the host on Nailing the Apex podcast, the best F1 podcast out there. Tim, are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. We weren't letting you off the hook that easy, man. We're going to do everything to get you on today because there's lots to get to. You know what's funny, Tim? I was listening to you and Adam's latest podcast, and I guess what you were trying to tell everybody that's into F1 or in fantasy leagues is calm down. It's one race. Let's start there. Ferrari, my friend, not the best race for them. There were some issues with Lewis and his race engineer. They finished 8th and 10th in this race. But like you were saying on your podcast, people need to pump the brakes. They're going to be okay, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we actually literally just talked about this on SportsCenter today on TSN, this exact conversation. So I'm going to have it again, which is great. I think, like, one of the things is that is a relationship that needs time to be fulfilled. Like, it's hard. Like, sometimes it's hard to explain to folks, like, because, like, racing, Formula One, IndyCar, like, it's not easy. Like, it's not like just jumping into a road car and starting up the engine, putting on your seatbelt and driving around. Like, it's not like that. Like, there is a lot that goes into this to understand the car itself, but then to understand the team personnel that you're working with, because that relationship is extremely important for the engineer to understand the driver, what they like, what their personality is like, how them work together when they're put under extreme stresses, which a Grand Prix is, and to get that level of communication, because the engineer's got to perform, and obviously the driver has to perform at the same time. And when there's a massive amount of pressure that's being put on top of you, and the two of you are working together for the very first time, granted, they did testing. Granted, they did private testing in older F1 cars. That is still not enough mileage and time working together to have a relationship so you both understand each other and you're both on the same page. So the thing is that the relationship that Lewis needs to build with Ricardo Adami, who's his engineer, and Ricardo's relationship that he needs to build with Lewis Hamilton, it's going to take some time, guys. Like, it's just, I keep trying to stress that and tell people, I had a friend like literally blow up my phone like on Sunday after the race, and I'm like, dude, you got to relax here. Like, this is going to take a lot of time. Like, no one said Lewis was going to jump in the car and immediately be winning races. Even I never said that. I knew this was going to be a journey for him, and it was going to take time. Like, start judging it when you get to like race 8, race 9, and he hasn't even touched a podium. Then we can really dig into this, and then we can really start judging it. But for now, it's just going to take time for Lewis. That's all.
Tim, who do you think between the two drivers? I mean, two experienced drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz. Obviously, both changing seats to different. And although we didn't get to see Sainz with his relationship with the team, who do you think figures it out first, or is it kind of even playing ground? Who would you say has the bigger advantage to assimilate to his team a little bit quicker?
I would say Carlos Sainz, simply because he was able to get a test session done, actually a filming day, and a test session done with Williams before the winter break. So he was already gathering mileage, working with his new engineer, working with the team, understanding the team dynamics. Granted, Williams isn't as big as Ferrari is, where the amount of people that are working within Ferrari are in the thousands. Williams is not to that number. However, for Carlos Sainz, not as many people he needs to get to know, which is a good thing. He was able to take that winter break and go into the factory all throughout December. He was allowed to be at the Williams factory. He was allowed to meet with everybody. He was allowed to use their simulator. He was allowed to work with the engineer and their loop simulator at Williams. Lewis wasn't allowed to do that. Okay, he wasn't allowed to go to Ferrari until like January 1.
Yeah.
Right? And so like on January, I think it was like January 3rd, he literally rocked up to the Ferrari factory, parked his motorhome, and didn't leave for like a month and a half. And he lived at their factory. So for Carlos, he has, 40 days of working with the team more than Lewis does. One of the things that, we saw him have an issue with is the engine. Obviously, with Williams, they're powered by Mercedes. It's a much different engine. It's a much different steering wheel configuration. It's a much different drivetrain than what he's used to with Ferrari, and that's why we saw him spin out and crash, because of the level of torque that goes through the car. He didn't really understand what it was like in the wet, and that's one of the reasons why he spun out and crashed. So that's just one of those little things he's going to have to get to learn. But I mean, his practice sessions were really strong. His qualifying, actually, I was really impressed with. I'm surprised he got into Q3, to be honest with you. And even in Q3, I believe he had a bit of a wobble that costed him as well. So there's a lot more, I would say, potential there for Carlos at the moment. For Lewis, it's still a learning phase, right?
Tim, I have so much to ask you. I don't know what to ask you next here.
Fire away, buddy. Fire away.
Let's go here. A lot of our listeners are asking about the rookies. Only 2 finished. Ollie Behrman and Kimi Antonelli finishing there in the 4th spot. What did you make of obviously a rough one, a tough track. The weather didn't help at all, but only 2 finishing. What do you say about the rookies? And I got one question from Bones saying, which rookie drivers are on the hot seat after one race? Which is it's kind of quick to answer that, but not a good look for Liam Lawson. Obviously, is the one that's being talked about a lot, just with who they can potentially bring in. But what did you make of the rookies after Australia?
Man, old man Bones there, just trying to pull the trigger on some rookies already.
He's ready to move.
Holy jeez, I wouldn't want to work for him as a team as a driver. Look, rookies are rookies, right? They're going to make mistakes. They're going to crash cars, and they're going to be somewhat slow-ish. It's the development, it's the progression that you need to see, like in any sport, like in hockey. You look at Connor Bedard, right? Came in extremely talented.
Mhm.
Everybody knows it's going to take him some time, but there's a ton of talent there, right? They just need to unlock it. So it's the same thing with rookie drivers. Ton of talent there. You just have to help them find their way, and then you'll be able to unlock it. And that comes with time, experience, and building the confidence. As for Liam Lawson, yeah, it was a disaster. Like, that weekend was an absolute disaster for him. Too many mistakes, not understanding the car. You could tell the confidence wasn't there. And I think as we start to, move forward throughout the season, Red Bull will allow him to make those mistakes. Red Bull will allow him some room to grow. It's when you get to like race 15 and he's like a second off of Max Verstappen and crashing cars and he's not on the pace. That's when that conversation of, hey, we're probably going to have to swap you out. Because by that time, you've had enough time to learn the car. You've had enough time to build the confidence and understand where the limit of things are. What Red Bull is expecting from a driver like Liam Lawson is to just hang around. He doesn't need to win. That's Max's job. He doesn't need to necessarily podium, but what he has to do is he has to be in the points.
Yeah.
He has to be getting points every single weekend, and that should be his goal. 9th place, 8th place, 6th place, 5th place. I think Red Bull would be happy with that because that's helping them in their Constructors' Championship bid. And that's what they are, that's what Red Bull is really, really pushing for, right? And I would say when you get to that race 15 and he hasn't really scored many points and it's been disappointing, that's when you can consider moving him out. But with the other rookies, I don't know, guys, I don't know what you guys think, and I would love to know, but I thought Gabriel Bortoleto looked impressive. I thought Kimi Antonelli qualifying was not impressive at all. That was brutal, but his racecraft was excellent. You could tell that he was prepared. You could tell that he had done a lot of mileage in other F1 cars. You could tell that Toto Wolff had gotten him ready, but the qualifying, that's a concern that needs to be looked at. Ollie Behrman, that was a disappointment. I didn't expect him to be that off the pace, and you could just see the confidence go downhill from when he had his first crash in FP1, didn't get FP2, didn't get the track time, and you could just see the confidence really start to snowball out of control. Jack Doohan I thought was really impressive, and if Lewis hadn't spun in front of him, I would have been curious to see if he could have gotten into Q3. I think he could have. Really impressed with what Jack Doohan had done, considering the amount of pressure that guy's under. And then also, I was impressed by Isaac Hajar. Also, I thought he could have almost cracked into Q3 as well. I mean, qualifying 11th, I thought was pretty impressive. What did you guys think of the rookies?
I mean, it's so hard to judge, and it probably goes into my next question, just because of the conditions changing so much from qualifying to the race itself with going into the wet. But I was kind of impressed, like you said, with Kimi Antonelli, essentially being so young and not putting the car into the wall was what I found so impressive. And just, his demeanor, he doesn't seem like a 17-year-old to me. Unfortunate because you really want to. I was excited to see how these rookies were going to compete this year and stack up against some of the veterans. But so going into China now, Tim, what did you gather? I know it's hard because of everything that happened last weekend, but moving to the next race, what can you take and who's kind of got the edge? Is it McLaren with their obviously their driver lineup and their car, or do you see teams now with more of a stable weather conditions from what it looks like this weekend? Are we going to be able to gauge where each team is a little bit more from this race?
I think so. I think we'll get a better idea of where everyone sort of is. But again, teams are still trying to figure out, where is the sweet spot on their car? How can they refine what they have to eke out a bit more performance? Because a lot of these teams, you could tell that they hadn't really unlocked the potential within their cars, Ferrari being one of them. I really think that Ferrari actually does have something there, but they just need to figure out how to squeeze it out of the car. As for McLaren and their advantage in qualifying, I really don't see that as a consistent thing moving forward. They had almost a 4/10 gap to Max in qualifying, and I don't necessarily believe that is the true gap. I honestly think it's smaller. I think when we get to, say, Bahrain, I don't see McLaren as a faster team at a track like Bahrain. I really don't. I can see McLaren being quick in China, and I can definitely see them being fast in Japan, because those are really big commitment tracks that require a car that has a lot of downforce and provides and stimulates a lot of confidence for the driver. And I think McLaren has that. But when you go to a track like Bahrain, I mean, you know, it's a lot of stop-go, a lot of slower corners, don't tend to need a lot of downforce on the car. The driver can get the confidence quite easy. I could see that being a track where, who knows, maybe a team like Mercedes really shines, because I also think that we haven't seen the full potential from Mercedes, and I honestly think they have a lot of potential in their car as well. So there is still a lot of stuff up in the air and a lot of things we don't know yet, and it's just going to take some time, right?
Yeah.
Tim, one last one for you. We got to talk about Lance Stroll, a P6 there.
Absolutely.
Really good to see Lance Stroll up there. And I think in your podcast, so you did say like you can't see this as kind of sustainable for Lance Stroll and that Aston Martin car there. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what you said on the podcast. And it's good for Lance Stroll, but it's not something that we shouldn't be, getting used to seeing forward.
Yeah, for him and for Fernando Alonso, both of them. Like, I don't think that's a car that has any business being in the points right now. It definitely needs a lot of work. Doesn't mean that it won't be competitive later. And no, Adrian Newey will not be working on it. He's got a bigger project on his hands. But I think that with this new car that they have, it's more driver friendly. And what I mean by that is it instills driver confidence, where last year and the year before, they had a car that was very, what I would like to call, peaky. So sometimes you would get it into a sweet spot in a working window where the tires work, the driver could feel confident, they could feel the grip, they could be aggressive, and they could attack. But then several laps later, absolutely fall out of that window and become a monster of a car to try and drive, handle. You lose the confidence, you don't trust it anymore. And so with this car, it's the total opposite. It actually looks like, and from talking to Lance and hearing from Fernando and talking to some of the team personnel, they have more of a car that is inspiring of driver confidence. So it doesn't have the sheer pace, but they're trying to make up with it with driver talent and then adding performance to the car as the season goes along. Because I think what they learned from last year and the years before is they always made a misstep when they brought new parts to the car. So when they brought a new component, let's say they brought a new floor to the car. They brought one in Canada in 2023, and they thought that thing was going to have so much performance because of what they saw in the wind tunnel, and the engineers saw all the data from it, and they thought it was going to be this thing that was going to be incredible. It turned out to be a monster, and they didn't understand where they went wrong. And I think from learning about where they went wrong, they can now focus on, okay, what do we need to do to make this car better moving forward? And that's sort of the position they're in. It's sort of a clean slate on the car that they now need to make sure that when they introduce an upgrade to it, it will add performance and the drivers can keep the confidence, not the other way around.
Tim, you're the best. Great stuff as always. Enjoy the races. I know there's an IndyCar race on Sunday as well, so enjoy a filled weekend with a lot of racing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure we'll have you on soon. Great stuff. You become our listeners, one of our favorite guests, and you always bring the heat, my friend.
Well, hey, I really appreciate it, guys. What's the weather like there, by the way?
Oh, it's like
It's
3
it's
degrees.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah?
Usually after spring break, then we're in the clear. But I wouldn't put past snow later today.
I went outside and it was 17 degrees here, and I was thinking about you guys today. So I was like,
Thanks,
yeah, I know. I was like, I was curious.
No, it's still a little bit cold over here.
Thanks a lot.
So,
Thanks, Tim. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, boys.
Tim Hauraney, F1 IndyCar Insider from TSN, also nailing the Apex podcast. They do a fantastic job there with Adam Wilde. They're really, really good. They do one pre-race, one post-race, so make sure to check it out. 8 away from 100 thumbs up. Let's get there. We got to get to a quick break here as the Reed Wilkins Show is coming up here at 3 o'clock. He'll take you right up until 6. Hit that thumbs up. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat and the River Cree inbox. We're back soon. Here's Coop with your update.
After exiting the second period in last week's game against the Flames, Josh Manson of the Avalanche has been ruled out for another 3 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury. Colorado has puck drop tonight against Toronto before the Wild battle the Kraken, seeing just 2 games in the NHL. And Gary Bettman, the league's commissioner, addressed the media this morning, saying that the NHL is, quote, reevaluating how they want to do things in regards to the All-Star game, saying that the Four Nations face-off, quote, raised the bar. Bettman also announced that the opening day for next year's regular season is October 7th. And on the court, there's 11 games. Detroit takes on Miami. Houston hits the court in Orlando. The Grizzlies and Trailblazers go at it before Sacramento hosts Cleveland in College. The Mountaineers got the Eagles, while the Longhorns duke it out with the Musketeers for March Madness play-ins. Final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
It's as if Draisaitl is kind of like now as a star quarterback, and that star quarterback gets it done in late game situations. Draisaitl's the difference maker, giving the Oilers the lead, winning games for them in overtime, goals coming at important time. We're really seeing it happen this year. I still like Draisaitl for the Hart Trophy.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth. River Cree Resort Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
Playmoregames.ca.
Can you hear us, people? Are we there?
Let us know.
Hello? Hello? Giancarlo says we're muted and the music's still running.
Yeah, the music's running. No.
I think people can hear us. I see our levels up. Or maybe not. That's just the music.
That's, yeah.
That's why you don't turn the board off, Coop. There we go. We're back.
Are we?
Yeah, I think. We hit 100 thumbs up. We
Oh,
got 3
perfect.
minutes to go.
That's what we needed.
Mike's really low, Giancarlo says. Maybe it's just you, John.
Yeah. Put your headphones on.
JC. But it is interesting with the rookie. You think Red Bull gives Liam Lawson 15 races?
Well,
Because
like
I know what Bones was trying to say. He wasn't saying make a change now, but like who's going to be like in going into week 5? Who's going to be like whose name's going to be swirling around saying he might lose his seat? I think that's what Bones was getting to.
I really can't. I can't tell you after the first race.
Yeah,
So I don't think you can take anything from that first race. Yeah, all you can take is the advantages of certain teams that have 2 guys that are veterans, right? That have done it for a longer period of time. That's what I take from this, right? Although, and you have to give a little bit of an edge to Mercedes, even though their guy is so young. He was able to nurse that thing around, right?
Yeah, I mean, he said Liam Lawson was a disaster weekend. Same with Ollie Behrman.
Well, they got the confidence. You could see in their face, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Behrman, I forget where it was, his first race where he jumped in with Leclerc's car or Carlos's car with Leclerc's steering wheel that he wasn't used to, and pulled out a 7th, and you just saw his confidence just beaming, right? And after putting it in the wall and not getting into, he just looked like a different guy before the race.
So did Liam Lawson.
He looked like a lost puppy, right?
He looked like almost he didn't know what to do.
Compared to when he was with the RB Racing, like he looked like Brad Pitt strolling around in the movie, right? He looked like he was completely full of confidence. But yeah, you put on the dark blue suit, things change a little bit.
Yeah, so he said be patient with Ferrari. They'll figure it out. Mercedes is coming along. Red Bull's going to be there. Like
I wonder, man. I worry about Lewis Hamilton at his age, old dog, new tricks syndrome, right? And I know adaptability is something, but I just think because of his prior relationship with Mercedes and how long he was actually with this team. And you heard, he says Carlos will be able to assimilate quicker, right? Just because he was able to get more time. And then Lewis had to wait till January 1st, although he moved the Airstream there, whatever. But
interesting. D-Rock says, what's with the injuries and absences from practice? 97, 2019, 14. D-Rock, honestly, I know it's been said that they're day-to-day, but they're all going to play. I think it's the time of the year, too. The older guys that play a lot are going to get some maintenance days.
I think there's just a little bit of gamesmanship, too, with Winnipeg coming in, right?
For sure.
Like, it just, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but to say that and see, well, is Connor playing? Is Leon playing? What does that mean? Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine for
Do you really
tomorrow.
think Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl aren't going to play against the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night? Come on.
Well, Winnipeg's not that good. Anyway, we got to get out. The Afternoon Inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Big shout out to our guy, Tim Hauraney. Always brings the good stuff. You can find his podcasts anywhere you get your podcasts. Nailing the Apex, also on TSN. Tomorrow, we'll tee up Jets with Drew Mendel from the Illegal Curve. We'll also have the Red Light District and much, much more. For Coop, for Gager, I'm Hernan. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Keep it locked. Reed Wilkins is coming up 3 to 6. Ciao.